Hey guys, welcome to level 19. Today we will talk about 19 details about Game of Thrones you got missed before, so keep watching level 19. Number 1. Do you remember this wolf getting killed by a stag? Even though back then none of us would probably have realized how the stag represented Joffrey, and the wolf was Ned. It gets better. The wolf leaves behind 6 pups, just like Ned. Number 2. And not so long after, that stag is dead meat. Take the stag either as Joffrey or Robert Baratheon. Either way, it works. It shows how House Lannister is on the rise, while the Starks and Baratheons are suffering. Number 3. Animals represent lots and lots of families in truth. You just gotta follow the signs. Again, in that very same episode, we see Lord Tywin skinning a stag as we find out that King Robert had a little accident during his hunting session. Very suspicious indeed. Number 4. Later on, in the uncut version of Season 3, we see Tywin fishing, but which house would the fish represent? Yes, House Tully, and which Tully gets murdered at the end of Season 3. OMG, it's Catelyn Stark and she is a Tully. You can watch this deleted scene from here. Number 5. Before the soul-wrenching Red Wedding, Robb and Catelyn checked a map. Let's take a look at it again. At first, we see Starks running up against the Lannisters with support coming from Freys and Boltons, but since we know the whole deal now, we actually can see how House Stark is sadly all surrounded by evil enemies. Number 6. During Season 4, Tywin gets what he deserves. But wait a minute, did Lord Baelish see that coming? Did he know, even though Joffrey was murdered before this conversation, Tywin and Shy were alive and well? It's quite far-fetched for him to make such an assumption, so it's quite clear how George R.R. Martin had been playing with all of us, yet again. Number 7. Speaking of guessing things, do you remember this scene from Season 2, and how it talks about an event that'll happen all the way in Season 5? As you know, Jorah kidnaps Tyrion in Season 5 and they go through Old Valyria together, but 3 seasons before this, as Daenerys was visiting Korth, this Quaithe saw it coming. We should also add the fact that Quaithe actually has much more importance in the books. Number 8. Who knew how important and meaningful Yara's words were back then, especially the ones that had read the books? Number 9. Speaking of Theon and his operation. During Season 3, Lord Varys spoke about the same thing and how he hated and still remembered the knife. Well, guess what that knife looked like just 3 episodes after that, in Ramsay Snow's hands. Number 10. And apparently, Jaime knew all about Theon and what kind of a man he was, all along. And apparently, Jaime knew all about Theon and what kind of a man he was, all along. Number 11. Going back to Season 1. Just before his father was executed, we see Arya catching a bird and breaking its neck. Number 12. And it seems like the Hound had someone on his mind already, before he said these nice words. Well, Joffrey was much more. Number 13, and what's to say about this one? Was he thinking of some certain man, as Arya said that, in Season 4, we find out how his brother, the Mountain, murdered Rhaegar Targaryen's kids, and then we find out about Meryn Trant and his pedophile sickness in Season 5, those two were the Hound's besties back then. Number 14, there are lots and lots of other predictions. However, there are also organized scenes, as we see here. Ned is about to make a decision between the 2 things he cares about the most, his honor and his family. He chose honor and then hell broke loose. Wish you'd chosen to stay home, dear Ned. Number 15. Just as this one, even though Joffrey is the king, we can clearly see who is the real king between the burning flames. Number 16. And Sansa is clearly a wannabe. she styles her hair just like the people she's with, until season 4, where she goes a bit wild. Number 17, if only Prince Oberyn listened to the wise words of Bronn back in the days, so much would differ for so many characters. Oberyn. Number 18, as Tywin's trial was due, we'd like to think this conversation actually upset Jaime more than it seemed. Maybe he still feels guilty for murdering his own cousin. In the same talk, Tyrion mentions how he was always accused of his mother's death by his father and Cersei. Well, his father had something coming, this was for sure. Number 19. And here, Gendry teaches some stuff to Hot Pie about knights. And 2 seasons from that scene, Hot Pie still remembers. Well, that's all from level 19. Hope you have enjoyed my video. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching level 19.